obviously you set up your time processes. So it's like, as you would say, you take into account your 5 T's. You, first of all, delegate, and so you're trying to multiply your abilities. So you're delegating way more work than what you were doing before yourself. Last year, I think, was the first year that I really tried to embrace this process, was when I started looking at, kept my mind open to opportunities throughout the tax season, and I kept time allocated to that alone, just saying that I was not going to get so overwhelmed with those current tax returns that I had that were stacking up, that I was actually going to delegate way more of that work to associates and to others. Then I had that time to keep my the opportunities window open, so to speak. Freed up a lot more of my time last year and gave me the ability, like I said, to come out of tax season and say, oh, that was the best tax season ever.
Actually through this program and through the coaching and stuff, it has actually changed my attitude. And I think from a mental standpoint, that attitude has drawn people toward me, new prospects and clients who were not even prospects before, but all of a sudden start referring people.
Well, if your thinking is simply for a product that you're getting out the door, you're going to be very tunnel visioned in that approach. You're going to be just saying, I need to get XYZ products done today. If you limit your thinking to that capacity, you basically shut your mind to the opportunities that are presented each and every moment. So if you've shut your mind to those other opportunities, well, you're just closing the door for that to happen.
It doesn't really come naturally, and especially during tax season, it's so busy that you don't have a lot of time to plan and think. You're more in the doing mode. So you almost have to have a process set up to handle those decisions and help you make those decisions. Otherwise, you fall back into the old habits of you just kind of keep on doing the next job. And then, you can't do it all. And if you don't plan and delegate a lot, you end up on the short end, and you don't come in for a smooth landing on the tax deadlines. It's pretty rough.
It's too easy to fall into the ruts. It's just too easy to get down in there. And, to a certain extent, that's a comfort level for some CPAs. When you're in the ruts just plugging along, you're monotonously doing the task that seems to be necessary, and one after the next. But what you're doing is you're not looking up. You're just not looking up from what you're into, and you're not able to rise above it. So, yeah, if that's where you want to be, I guess that's the way it is. But the opportunities that continually come through the door, need to be, you can't just shut your mind. You can just shut your mind to any new opportunities, but you're really missing out on the upper value proposition that you should be presenting. And I think that's as you meet with clients, knowing what the value proposition is. Are you asking the right questions? Not just where's your W-2. You really need to be moving yourself above and beyond that frame of mind.
Holding on too much to the history, to how I used to feel and how it kind of holds me back. My own self or my own person holds me back a lot. So,
just as accountants and CPAs, we tend to work as historians way too much of the time, and historians don't always get the vision. So I guess it just changes our parameter on how we've been thinking in all our past experiences to start looking at things with a thought process and with a vision as to what needs to be accomplished. So it's a change in parameter and structure. So
we kind of default into the manager leadership position, but realistically we're more of the technician to a good extent. So again, you need some education, some process in place, and then kind of get the buy-in of other people on the team and the staff to kind of understand that whole process and concept and plan, strategy, and be on the same page, be on board, and then it kind of moves forward a lot quicker. It always helps too if you can have somebody else help you get that strategy and plan in place, because again, smaller firms tend to be very busy and don't have a lot of time for that, and quite frankly, we might not be really good at it. I guess to sum it up, it would be, because I've had a lot of other professional development, CPE, in different areas over the years, and it's all good. It's all bits and pieces. It's kind of pieces of the puzzle. And the action vision, I would say, is more of the whole puzzle complete. Like, we're going to give you the whole puzzle, not just one piece. And at the end, the puzzle will be complete, versus taking on one piece of the puzzle. And then one piece over here, and all those pieces really, the people that are giving you the pieces aren't talking together. So if you have one kind of stop shopping, so to speak, and hey, here's the whole plan, A to Z, put it together, it helps you buy into it and understand it a little more, and it actually is a lot more exciting. But it's definitely a much more in-depth, thorough, diligent approach to a long-term strategy.
I think the biggest thing is this provides some tools that didn't formally exist that I can put in my tool belt, and that really helps in probably the biggest places it's helped is in the DNA of people and understanding people and to appreciate people a little differently.
I think that the biggest thing that I've learned, a couple things. Number one, dealing with difficult personalities. I think the biggest thing in my mind was I was feeling a little bit out of control and lost. And I think that I have grabbed back much, not all, but much of that control and, being able to steer the ship rather than having the ship just drive itself.
I am looking at some point I don't see any other way other than getting everyone kind of on board. Maybe not to the extent I am, but certainly on the personality, understanding each other's personalities and dealing with them, coping with them, kind of better. That I think it's just going to be a much better work environment for everybody. And the people in place really, they kind of treat this business as their own. Don't wait, just do it, because you're going to benefit, and it's a little scary, but the reality is you don't have to put in a lot of time, and you will benefit tremendously, and then you won't wait 3, 4, 5, 6 months, because really it's not waiting 3 months after tax season. Tax season really ends for us, I think, July 4th, because after tax season you take some vacations, then there's extensions, and there's a lot of projects that you pushed off till after tax season was done. And so you really kind of feel like you're back on a normal schedule, end of June, even though you're not working overtime after April 15th maybe, but you still have a huge backlog. So you feel there's a lot of pressure there. So you're really not waiting 2 or 3 months. We're talking today. You're not saying, hey, I'll start this April 20th. You're probably really talking about June maybe, or July or August, realistically. Because then you want to have a good summer, and then you're like, all right, there's September, Labor Day is a good time to start it, and it just keeps pushing ahead.
My first opinion is our best asset and our best attribute that God gives us is our ability to think. And sometimes, we go on autopilot and we don't think. And I think when I was looking at the 30 minutes that you and I spent last year in the middle of tax season, we had some of our most amazing breakthroughs in discovery in those 30 minutes, and it still puts you back on the track of, hey, still think about how you're working and how you're impacting your business. And I guess that gave me, I was telling Misty, I said, last year was my best tax season ever. And she said, yes, but at the expense of your staff. And I didn't realize it, but I had delegated so much to my staff that they were like, oh my gosh, what's he doing, anymore, other than just meeting with the clients and signing the return. And, I guess when I look at it that way, I was like, yes, isn't that what I should be doing? Meeting with the staff, meeting with the clients, giving them undivided attention. So my opinion to that is you can wait, and if that's your mindset, there's no better way than to really truly appreciate the value of a coaching session unless you're right in the middle of the battle. So once you're in the middle of the battle, to take that 30 minutes out and to say, I'm going to think differently for just 30 minutes, that seems pretty valuable to me. Okay, in the beginning, it gave me a lot more focus and a lot more understanding as to where I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing and who I should be doing it for. And that in my vision circle basically enlightened me a lot. So it basically says here, what are you doing and why are you doing it and who should you be doing it for? And then giving myself the ability to, one, delegate way more responsibilities and tasks, either one, delegate it or sub it out or something, at least get rid of the items that just didn't need to be accomplished by me. So first of all, that's one thing. Freed up a lot more of my time last year and gave me the ability, like I said, to come out of tax season and say, oh, that was the best tax season ever.
So once I got a little bit of taste of some of the systems, some of the education, the videos, things that I could use, and I said, oh, wow, I just asked that question a little differently, and it was a whole different result, and I went, oh, that's unbelievable.
My personality is very comfortable in, where I'm at and not going out there on the edge, So when you bring in somebody like Misty, and Misty's like creating these opportunities, and first of all, you have to analyze the opportunities and say, whoa, do I really want to go there? Is that who I am, or is that breaking through that comfort level of barrier, So I guess that's the question that I deal with there, It's like, well, do I want to go there? It's like, well, yeah, I do. Or am I satisfied to go back into the shadows and do my little thing that I felt like was making a difference in somebody's life? So I guess the big picture is, do you want to go there? Do you want to step out of the shadows, and do you want to, pursue what God is wanting to do in your life, maybe in a big way, but yet sometimes we're so reserved, thinking that that's not us. It just, that question that you ask yourself every morning when you get up. You can make a choice. Okay, do I just want to go back to where I was, or do I want to move forward? So I think it's a daily choice almost.